friends, and welcome to Global Vegan Business Expo. I am Ruchika Chitrabhanu. I'm very excited about our guest today because how many people do we know of who start a high risk business of restaurants with the intention of bringing wellness into their customers' mind, body, or soul, or with a sheer grit of spreading the word of compassion, speaking for animals through their tirelessly curated recipes with the ethic of serving the freshest of food to their customers. Not many, right? So meet a unique guest for the day. Nidhi Nahata, the founder of Just Be Cafe in Bengaluru, Vicky Khatwani, Earth Cafe in Mumbai, Sean Rodrigues, the founder of Bean Me Up in Goa, Abhinav Bajpai, the co-founder of a unique restaurant with a unique philosophy, Ubuntu in Kolkata. A very warm welcome to all of you. And it's a Sunday, very busy day for all of you, and yet you took out the time to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ruchika.
Thank you.
Our pleasure.
You.
So, in India, we've generally seen restaurants having just two verticals, veg and non veg. Each of you entered into the hospitality business holding on to a strong core value of yours, which is compassion, and introduced a third vertical that is vegan. And the beauty of this is that neither of you have a formal training or experience in hospitality. Vegan has just started getting popular in India. What were some of the initial challenges you faced when you started a complete plant based restaurant? Nidhi, can we go with you first?
So I had, a bigger challenge. That was being vegan. I run a whole food plant base, so I was using no oil and no sugar and no dairy, and so the biggest challenge was the chef who would run my kitchen, and he would be like, you know what, you're taking away all the taste enhancers, and how am I supposed to cook? So I think the first 3 months, I actually had to train him, and we had to do the whole menu and uh, very basic, so that let me just serve normal food. People are looking for pizzas. So let me get the alternative. And the challenge was also about how do we get people, because I've not been in this industry and I really don't know what marketing is. And I am from that old school of thought.
What is it?
Sorry. Should I just go on?
Yes.
So, I come from that old school of thought that I don't know social marketing. I don't know. I'm so bad at that. My son takes care of all of that. And so for me, it was just talking to people and connecting with people. And that was challenging because I really didn't want to talk about that I'm a vegan or whole food plant-based. I just wanted to cater to health, because I knew that everybody is, especially women, when they know that, okay, no cholesterol, no low calorie food and all of that. And that's what my food is. So we had challenges. People would come and say, but we don't mind eating it. Just serve what we need, right? And here I was creating a demand. And I had to supply not what is in demand, but I had to create a demand. So that was a challenge. Yeah.
Sean, what about you?
Hi. So I started off in quite early, before the whole vegan trend or the vegan businesses actually started in India. So that was about in 2009 and 2010. And one of the challenges I had was with my own family, actually questioning whether it is a suitable business to start off with, and because not many people are familiar the uh, with the vegan lifestyle or with vegan cuisine in general. And also because Goa is popular holiday destination and known for its coastal Malvan or Konkan seafood, and people have this perception that that is one of the reasons why people come to Goa. Besides partying and holidaying, they want to come and check out the coastal food kind of scene. But for me, I was very sure that that is what that it will kind of do well. Uh, and again, like Nidhi mentioned, there was a lot of unlearning to do when I had my staff with me, because they were, although they were trained, some of them were trained with doing vegetarian food, they were not very comfortable with using with uh, with not using cheese or dairy or milk in the tea and coffee, and we straight away started making vegan ice creams back then. So they thought like they mentioned like this is not even possible. Like what are we trying to do over here? So it was kind of gaining their confidence and building this trust that yeah, I mean we have to do it, and we had to do a lot of trial and error because even I was pretty new at everything back then. So, but yeah, so we had a lot of hurdles, and also getting the Indians because uh, because some of the Indians that travel, their palate is quite restricted to probably just
Yes.
Italian uh, or the fast food like the burgers and that. So we had quite a diverse menu. So and back then we used to cater to a lot of Westerners. So that was our target audience, which is completely changed. It's like full 360 now. So those were some of the hurdles that we had. So to try to get some locals as well. So back then there was no vegan community in Goa per se, but now there's like the all that has changed over the years. So it's yeah, it's been a very interesting journey.
Yeah. You started a little less than 2 years back.
Right.
What were your
Uh,
hurdles?
so for us, comparatively less challenging than what it must be for Sean 10 years back, because people already knew vegan. What we did was we included a little gluten-free twist to the vegan diet, which is even little well known in Mumbai.
Right.
Our hurdles, of course, getting a team together, and like what Sean said is right, getting the flavor to the food. So when we started off with the team, I had to make sure that every member is on the same every team member is on the same page with me, making sure that our food is not vegan food. Our food is better than vegetarian food. Our food is better
Right.
than regular food. How do we make
Hmm.
better food than a regular cafe or a regular meal or any other regular place? So we just had one concept in mind to better it. Better flavor, better taste, better quantity, better service. And I think, see, we all face challenges, but we overcome came it quite quicker.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Okay.
you know, and how do you spread the awareness? That was one question. Is like you said very rightly, we did not sell it as a vegan cafe. We did not sell it as a vegetarian cafe. We just sold it as a regular new cafe coming up in Bandra, and we
Hmm.
just left it, uh,
Okay. Okay.
and that's how we took it.
Abhinav, you're sitting in the
Yeah,
eastern
so
part of India.
yes, thank you so much. So I was or I am still an activist. That's how I identify myself. Previously, I was focusing on just environment side of it. Now I focus on environment, health, and compassion, and also all other sides. So for me, the challenge was because I was in a city which is so heavy in meat and dairy consumption, and the food is like this iceberg, like you see the tip, which is a taste, but under that there is a huge cruelty, there is a huge health impact, there is a huge environmental impact which people don't see. And I wanted, because in Calcutta people are so much addicted to that tip which is visible to them, that they don't want to change that at all. So how inside the water I can change all of that while I still serve them the similar taste and the similar experience which they are really fond of, because they tend up they always tend to mention this part that I eat anything which walks. So how can I make them eat the same thing without that thing actually walking? So for that a lot
Ah,
of experiment went to. I was never a foodie. I'm an activist. I was never a foodie. I
ah,
could eat just dal, roti, chawal for my whole life, and as easy to be a vegan. But then these people are are not the same type. So I had to change my perspective. I had to evolve my experience and taste and everything. That was a journey, and then opening here. So because I'm an activist, so I definitely use that tactic. Before starting the cafe, we ran a campaign of 100 days outreach. So this is a world record that any city has done 100 days outreach every single day.
Oh, wow.
So I initiated that, thinking that that will help also animals and also maybe initial marketing for the cafe. So we chose a the biggest lake of the city, which is filled with people who love nature, love animals, love healthy lifestyle. And we did 100 days outreach. It was successful because 99% people just agreed to what we were telling, because they were already in that space. We used very nice communication tactics and all that. So that is how I tried to overcome that. And yes, the food was the major thing, that food has to be designed in the way they want, which is I think credit goes to my team and chef Shreya, who has actually done amazing work there. If you can see the menu online, it is a 24-page menu right now. With the fish, meat, anything you can imagine is there in a plant-based form.
Yeah. Nidhi, your philosophy that we are what we think and our body is what we eat. To have a clean mind, we need to have a clean body. And this is how you started Just Be Cafe, India's first health and wellness cafe. And as you said, you had to create a demand for this whole food plant-based diet. How do you see this culture growing?
And if you ask me at this time, culture is growing. Everybody is looking for health, and yes, we started 3 years back, and we started preparing everybody and preparing ourselves for maybe this time.
Yeah.
And this is what I think is going to be the future demand. What people are looking for health, and I see a lot of, being a vegan and a whole food plant-based restaurant, I don't see only them coming into my restaurant. I see a lot more. I would say 90% of them who are non-vegans are not looking for a whole food plant-based food. So I see that there is demand, curiosity, which is, people want to try. How is it? Because we need to accept that it's not easy. It's not easy to bring a change. It's not easy to just shift to a different diet or just to start believing in one night.
Yeah.
There is something which has to be, and all of us together and many more are actually contributing to make this conscious shift and it's happening. The best part is it's happening so beautifully. It's happening.
Yeah.
So I think this is something which is going to be in high demand, plant-based lifestyle.
Yeah, but do people come in intentionally? Do they know that this is a whole food plant-based cafe, or they find that out once they come there?
They find it out once they come there. We are health cafe, but when they come here, and that's what we do. Our marketing is spending time with each customer and educating them. Okay, fine, you had the nachos, but without a drop of oil. Had this, and our strategy has been that actually telling them the whole story about each dish, because it is a story, and how we make it in the kitchen is it's so much of unlearning and learning in that. And the best part is what I see, and which is so reassuring, is when they come back with their guests and when they are introducing my food and talking, what this is this, and at the end they'll say, Nidhi, I introduced everything, can you talk a bit more about it? So actually that so I think that is something which because we are not the run of the mill, we need to just educate them about it, what
and you're such a perfectionist. I mean, even your restaurant just has the most beautiful blend of rustic and classic, as well as a eclectic design. It has blended in so beautifully. It's not easy to achieve.
Ruchika, this has been done in the pandemic. From April we've been doing the renovation. I have to share this, I started with a very low budget, because my whole family was like, who's going to come here to eat? So my husband said, okay, fine, 3 months, because you're so passionate about it, and after 3 months I'm going to support you. After 3 months, if we don't sustain, then you be ready about it. And it's been 3.5 years, and God's grace.
Wow. But of course, ambience in a restaurant plays a huge role. Yeah. Right. And it's the way you run your restaurants is beautiful. It's so inviting.
Thank you. I'm inviting all of y'all to come and.
Oh, I'm waiting to come to Bangalore. Yeah, I'm waiting. Sean, your restaurant, when I came there, my God, I cannot tell you, it was completely unexpected. It was such a pleasant surprise to me. It was a place, it's a place that's nestled in the by lanes of Goa. There's an old world charm. When I walked into it, I felt as if I'm transported into a secret garden, open to sky, beautiful canopies of trees, sounds of peacock in the background, and the sheer expanse of it. It's the feel is just exuberant, and it's so fresh. And then top it with the food you serve. There's so much of freshness in the food. There is, it's appealing to the palate, and it's also a visual treat. So what I know about your restaurant is that even an avid meat eater does not miss his meal. How do you achieve that? I mean, a lot of thinking obviously has gone into that. But how are you achieving that people come back to your restaurant for more? You're on mute.
Okay. Thank you for the compliments. Yeah, so it is definitely a very beautiful space, and the ambience is also a part of one of the experiences, definitely,
Yes,
of
absolutely.
of anybody who's dining out. And so for that, and for us, the very natural environment that we have, the canopy of like the mango and the jackfruit and the coconut trees,
Yeah.
so it really works to our benefit, and it's really very beautiful. Also, we refrain with our menu. We try to make a menu in such a way that we don't have to use any mock meat. We refrain from using mock meat, but at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, we have like the tofu. We make our own tofu, and we were one of the first few people in India to to make our own tempeh. So we make tempeh and tofu ourselves, and we even distribute it to the other restaurants in Goa.
Wow.
But we try to use our cuisine in such a way that people don't really, lack meat without using any mock meats.
Hmm.
So yeah, so there's definitely a lot of thought that went into curating that menu in a way that, and we have people come and tell us after the meal is over. When I go over, they tell us like, if we can eat a meal like this every day, we will turn vegan, kind of thing. But
This
that
is
is just one of the
exactly what my
excuses.
friends told me when I got them there. I got a
Yeah.
bunch of friends, exactly what they say, that if we get this food every day, we don't mind going vegan.
Yeah. So yeah, so then I just tell them that I'm not an activist as such. Like I'm not in their face activist. But in a very subtle way, I tell them like, yeah, you can just start with a 21-day thing, and Sharon has a program. We can help you if you really want to, walk this path in that way. So after they finish their meal, I have just in a very subtle way we mention to them if they enjoy the meal, and which most of them do. And most people coming are not vegan,
Yeah.
uh, but they just today people are just look up Google or Zomato, and most people check ratings, which works out to our favor because we have a good rating on most of these platforms like TripAdvisor and Zomato and Google. So a lot of people come, and a few people come and check our menu and then leave because unfortunately for them, they think that a meal cannot be complete without dead animals
Uh-huh.
on it. So a lot of them leave, which is their loss. But people who choose to stay back and enjoy a good thorough meal are pleasantly surprised. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got some meat eating friends who come there and just loved the food.
Yeah.
So,
Sean, I have missed your food every time I've come to Goa because it's been closed. You work on the season time, right? So
Oh, we work so starting last year, we have been open all year round now.
oh,
So even yeah, and this year also we are open all year, in spite of the whole COVID situation. So we've still been open, and yeah, it's been great. So yeah,
yeah, I don't think, Sean, you can take a day off, right? You have to be
at
open
the
every
moment,
single day.
at the moment, yeah, that is the challenge. Yeah, yeah, but yeah.
Abhinav, unlike most of the restaurants that one visits, Ubuntu, which is your baby, It has so much thought put into it. Every corner and every element in the restaurant has a story behind it. It's a place of mindfulness, right from the decor to the food to a menu that is so vast. Plus, you're sitting, you intentionally chose Calcutta, which is a place where fish is the comfort food for these bongs. And as you said, that they will eat anything that walks. What made you choose, why Calcutta? And what are you doing to appeal to their palate? How are you inventing foods which are appealing to them?
Yeah, that's a great question. Gives me opportunity to talk about what I exactly want to. So, number one, as I told, I'm an activist. So,
Yeah.
as an activist, I would like to save the maximum amount of animals or environment or make people health conscious. So, obviously, I will choose the place where the problem is the major. And I think statistic wise, Hyderabad and West Bengal is the top two states which where the maximum meat and dairy is consumed.
Wow.
So because my partner Shreya is from Calcutta, so no to Hyderabad and Calcutta. Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
I would have maybe taken Hyderabad. And Hyderabad had vegan cafes. That was also one of the reasons, but
Yes.
Calcutta had none. So hence, the problem is the biggest. Hence, I have to be there to try to solve it. That was the motivation behind it. Uh, the problem is that these people eat, as I said, everything it walks or swims, and the fish. So because my also my solution or my support was because the chef Shreya has lived in Thailand for many years,
Mm-hmm.
and if you know, Thailand is, I think, one of the most vegan friendly
Yes.
country in the world.
Yes.
Especially Chiang Mai is the second top vegan city in the world.
Yes.
So she was already exposed to vegan mock fish and vegan mock prawns, and she had trainings there because there are so many courses happen there. So, and I motivated her because when I start thinking about that I'm gonna do this, I motivated her that you have to take up these courses and learn about these and come back and help me in setting up. So yes, from the starting only, we're thinking about that our menu will sound like any non-vegan place in the Calcutta. There will be fish fry, there will be kosher mangsho, there will be meat pizzas and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But how to create that? So then she helped in creating menu, and then when we are here, so we started with a smaller menu of just a page with I think 15 items. That was the start. uh, and then as people started coming, and then we started getting feedback. Some were amazing, some were as close to what Sean told, that if I get the same food I can turn vegan. A Bengali was like, our day was made. That a
Ah,
Bengali who when he came told that I will eat anything veg, and when he was leaving, he said that if I get this food, I can be vegan also. And you can
wow.
see that same in the Google reviews and Zomato review. They go there and thankfully they leave that same comment there, and that motivation and love just spreaded. And a vegan community was also very supportive. I must say that we had so many of potlucks. So we were a community cafe. So many of events happen here. We had potlucks, we had talks, we had Sharan coming here, we had a lot of other athletes coming here. We had
Mm.
documentary screenings. So this engagement where non-vegans were coming because we were having free snacks, free vegan
Mm.
snacks. We were
Mm.
using it like a clickbait, and they were
Mm.
coming and we were serving them in a small chunks of these things, and that was
Mm.
also working beautifully.
Mm.
And slowly the food became popular.
Mm.
If it was not for Corona, we would have been like always filled. I think that's how we were going. But then
Mm.
yeah, I think we have started, and I think it will again be the same in some time.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Vicky, you're sitting on the busy and posh street of Bandra. Your Earth Cafe is chic, elegant, minimal, a place full of warmth and love. And when you're around, each and every person feels so welcomed. Um, the challenge you must have faced is that Bandra is full of, restaurants. There's a plethora of restaurants there, and you still started on a strong footing. Who were the customers you were targeting, and how did you manage to attract them? Vicky, you're on mute.
Sorry, Ruchika, I missed the question. Can you repeat it, please? My speaker was off.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to just repeat the whole thing. That, you're sitting in this busy, posh street of Bandra, right? Your cafe is chic, elegant, minimal. You created this place with a lot of warmth and love. And when you're around, each and every person feels so welcomed. But you started this cafe in an upscale neighborhood where there's a plethora of other restaurants, and yet you started off on a strong footing. So who were the customers? What kind of customers were you targeting, and how did you manage to attract them?
Right. So the whole Earth Cafe concept came up as soon as I touched India. And, I traveled a lot in the United States from San Francisco, LA, New York. And, we ventured out into all of these beautiful vegan cafes. And thank you, God, every vegan cafe, wherever we went to, was either full or it had a waiting, or, there was something like this, which was a
True.
very good indication that uh, there is a scope, there is a sign to venture out into something like this. And at that point of time, I thought Mumbai being one of the top cities in the world or on the world map does not really have uh, a cafe which
Hmm.
is large enough, which is on international standards. And we thought, why don't we take it up? Then we
Hmm.
had to think for a location. And technically, I personally felt Bandra was the best location because a lot of people in Bandra like to try.
Right.
So now we had to target, like you said, which kind of clientele did we had to target? We had to start targeting, uh, you know, like what Nidhi said, a healthy clientele. So when we started off with vegan, we added a lot of gluten free into our diet, which kind of camouflaged the vegan thing
Hmm.
because we were technically still a vegetarian cafe before people came to know we are a 100% vegan cafe. But the gluten free started picking up faster than people noticing that we are vegan. So that was one good move. And then of course we started targeting a healthy audience. And then slowly and steadily, we had a lot of Gujarati community. We had a lot of vegetarian community that started dining in with us. They started liking the taste. They started enjoying the taste of vegan food.
Hmm.
And I think that's what really helped us kind of grow and come into the market. Then we also thought of another vertical, which was keto. And keto till
Mm-hmm.
today does extremely well in Mumbai for some reason. So
Hmm.
I don't know if Nidhi has a keto diet on her menu, but we are one of the few who have a vegan keto uh, menu. Not many items, maybe 7 or 8, but very tastefully done.
Hmm.
So we targeted a lot of keto customers too.
Okay. Okay. But tell me, I don't know if this question would really be relevant. The restaurant industry takes a long time to break even in general, most of the restaurants. Did you guys feel there was an advantage, for y'all to break even, uh, going just plant-based, or did you feel that there's an advantage in that?
I don't think there's an advantage in that, but I don't see any disadvantage. I would compare it to any other regular restaurant industry or another restaurant or a cafe
Mm-hmm.
as challenging. But uh, I think in 2021, we could see the books heavily in green. All the vegan industries or the vegan restaurants. Uh, you know, So I think it would benefit us somewhere early next year.
Mm, mm,
We all anticipate to see the same thing.
mm. Sean, what about you? You started 10 years back. And as you said, vegan was not known that time.
Just hold
So
Sumit,
I'm
no?
sure that must have changed, you know, maybe the time that you took to break even probably now must have changed.
Yeah. So when we first started in 2009, 2010, when I started off, I knew that I was in this for the long haul. So,
Mm,
and at that time it was, and thankfully I was backed very well financially by my family, but they were also very uncertain about how it is going to take off. But it was just purely my confidence, which I knew that I
mm,
could it would but it took us a couple of years to kind of get that brand across and like get to tap into the Indian market as well, like with the Indian tourists that come to Goa and build a community. So it was because veganism was at a very initial stage in India
yeah,
at that moment.
absolutely. It was not
So
heard. I mean, people wouldn't know what vegan is.
yeah, very few, and then even Nandita had come around. So we kind of collaborated with a lot of yoga studios or a lot of yoga shalas that are around here because that was a big thing. It
Mm,
still is, but again, that is also mostly Westerners who do their teacher
right.
trainings and all these things over here. So it was very difficult for us to kind of try to get into the Indian, to get like the Indian people to come into it. But slowly it happened, and then it organically happened all across the country, and then we got a we saw a big rush of the urban Indians who started to come
Mm, mm,
and inquire about like, hey,
mm.
like, are you sure you're a complete vegan? Even today we get like calls and saying, are you a complete vegan?
Yeah,
And we're like, yeah, we are, yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, but it takes a while to for us, yeah, because we started so long ago. It took us we had a few hurdles to get through to where we are now. So another moment we I've started one more cafe in Goa called Gratitude, which is seasonal vegan restaurant now, and probably we have plans to and move and go further in and spread into the Goa market. Yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah.
Abhinav, were you impacted by the pandemic right now? You're just a year old. Um, you know, do you think if had it not been for the pandemic, you guys would break even?
Yes, definitely. Because of the so the model which we had. So I think your question about the vegan businesses having break even, I think it is better chances. There are better chances of vegan business doing break even if you just understand where you are and what your customer want, because that is the part of analysis which you have to do. But you get this, that you are
It's a
the
very
unique
good
one,
point.
or you have lot of, you are the unique one, and the uniqueness, if sold properly, has additional benefit around the, about the food and everything also, because people are curious. The young youth is just curious, they just go for fads. Oh, something new is happening, I want to be part of it. I want to
Mm,
be part of it. But how
mm.
can I reach to them that they understand something new is happening? So the marketing plays a very good role,
Yeah.
and which is, if you do it properly, break even is very easily possible, because you have already a uniqueness attached to it.
Mm.
For us, we made it unique in a way that it was a cafe, it was a Airbnb, and it was a studio, because we
Mm.
wanted people to find multiple reasons to come to us. We didn't want that anybody should think, okay, I'll not go because there's only vegan food. People were coming because,
Ah,
okay, there's an
right.
Airbnb, and very decent Airbnb, they were staying there. We had a
Mm-hmm.
studio where there were music classes happening, dance classes happening, so people were coming to just learn the skills. And when they were learning, obviously after the classes they will be feeling hungry. The moment they come down, there is a good food or smell is coming around, so they end up, okay, let me have some snacks, and then again the magic moment happens. So
Yeah.
it was going very good graph for 6 months. If it was not for pandemic, we definitely would have by now done very big one. But yes, then corona is for everybody, so then
Yeah,
that's not counted
absolutely.
here.
Of
But I
course.
think as things goes up, we have re-strategized. We have gone to a different model now, because we wanted to be smart as the world is becoming smarter.
Yeah.
So then I think that is also working well for us. Is again started growing. I think because this is a high business season for Calcutta, because of the puja starts then all the starts. So we have
Right.
relaunched our cafe last week for dining, but delivery was already there, and I think it's going good, and it should do break even. We are already in talk with the starting with 1 or 2 more takeaways. Let's see how it happens, but I think
Wow.
that's going to happen very soon.
Wow. So basically, if you're able to understand the needs, then you're able to, like you charted your whole, literally like a whole journey where people can come and stay and can do things and then come and eat. So yeah, that kind of thought is put in absolutely. Nidhi, yours is truly a unique restaurant, right? And so suppose somebody new wants to venture into this. What would your suggestion be? Would it be easy for them to break even?
This is for me,
For
right?
Nidhi.
Because there's some
There is
network lag.
something which I believe that a deep consciousness into it. And for me, what happened was that because I started studying about nutrition and I became a health coach from Sharan, and then I did the Cornell University, I did the course, and I started doing a lot of cooking classes. So whatever I spoke in my cafe, I would see a lot of people coming to my cooking class and believing that yes, food can be made oil free, food can be made without sugar, because I would teach them everything.
Yeah.
And I think that was my USP, because and then I started doing a lot of consultation, and then people started taking a lot of deliveries from us that, why don't you support us with food for a month? And the minute they would see results, for me it was like a ripple effect where people would go and tell them, why don't you just subscribe for a month's meal or a 2 months. So we have had people who have actually been on 6 months meal. So it's been 6 months that I just deliver food. And that's how I started. And I think, the first month itself, I was able to sustain no profit and I had no rent to give. So if you take these two things out, I sustained. I could pay my salary, I could pay my electricity bill, I could pay, I could take care of all of that. And I was in the journey where I was learning how to calculate all of these things and what is to be considered, and I had to unlearn how to run a home, and I had to differentiate between running a home and a business. So, but I managed, we managed, and I think every month we do manage. This pandemic was a big hit, and I've just in my head taken it as, what, it didn't exist. Let's start from zero again. So otherwise, if you're trying to balance that, we all are going to be unhappy.
Yeah.
So I feel that we don't need to even touch upon that.
Yeah.
Sean has a different story. He's in Goa, so.
But clearly, all four have a very different approach than just any other restaurant. It's not just a place that's opened up just serving food. There's just such a different approach to each one of your venture.
You know what I add to this is that each meal of ours, actually, it's not just a meal. It is a contribution to the planet, contribution to the animals, and contribution to your own health. So it's just not a meal,
Yeah. I guess that's the USP.
I would also add to Nidhi, it's the passion. I think that all of us have put in so much.
Yes.
It's actually passion over business. It's passion over anything. True. That has, got us all of us here.
Yeah. And I have seen some of the kind of blood, sweat that's been put in it. I've literally seen some of y'all do that. I've seen y'all through that process. So, yeah, Nidhi, sorry, go ahead.
And I was just saying that, Vicky, it's not just passion, it's passion with consciousness.
Yeah.
And then certain things are taken care of.
And the cause, the passion for the cause. Yeah. But do you think if you guys start a restaurant in a tier 2 or a tier 3 city, do you think it will be taken well, where people still want their dahi or paneer or even meat for that matter of fact? Do you think there's scope for vegan restaurants there?
In 2021, yes. We see a large scope in the smaller cities also. Again, this has nothing to do with veganism or anything.
Yeah.
It's a trend that picks up. Monkey see, monkey do. As soon as it starts picking up in cities like Bangalore, Goa, Mumbai, Kolkata, the smaller cities in any trend, they start picking up and they start following. So you will not be too shocked in 2021 if you hear in any smaller cities, vegan restaurants or vegan cafes, popping up.
Mm.
And I really anticipate that. I don't count Pune as a small city, of course, but smaller cities in Maharashtra, matter of fact, in Rajasthan, even maybe in UP, in some small cities, they might just start popping up because Rajasthan again has a very large. And you mentioned Karma, right?
Yes.
Jaipur.
Yeah.
Karma
See, there
Kitchen.
we are great. Yeah, and they are in Jaipur.
Yes.
So Jaipur, of course, is not a smaller city, but yes, again a large vegetarian community, a large international community. So it is going to pick up. Today, you
Mm.
look at Auroville and Pondicherry, large international community. They have a lot of vegan
Yes.
restaurants. But yes, in the smaller cities, they will pick up in 2021. I personally feel that.
Mm. Sean, would you venture out of Goa? Have a bean me up somewhere
Probably not.
else?
Yeah, because we have so many people from all around India coming here, and
Yeah.
on a weekly basis we get offers. In fact, just last week we had like Bombay developers who were like, "Oh, and we have like some Bollywood guys coming, and they're like, oh, we'll support you, and we want this place in Bombay, and we want to replicate this place in in Delhi or Hyderabad." Uh, but I don't think I'm ready for that yet. I mean, maybe I've not even worked on a franchisee model, but we get a lot of offers from people who are very interested to do that. But at the moment, I think going forward, probably that is the right thing to do. But at the moment, I think it is very. I'm so attached with this brand, and it's such a personal thing that
Yeah.
I don't know to venture out and. That's why I tell them I think the rent and the other factors. It's basically in Goa. Although I work hard, but it's still a beautiful experience to live in Goa, and it's the air is fresh, and you get such nice clean produce that we can use in our kitchen. So all that factors probably will not work in our favor when we are in a city, perhaps. So so at the moment, I'm very content to just stay in Goa, but you never know going forward. That could very well be a possibility, but I don't see that happening anytime soon, though.
But to give that same ambience in another city is really going to be a challenge. And that would
Yeah.
like,
Where
Yeah.
will we
Yeah.
Goa, sand and the sea?
yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And those canopies and the peacocks and, like, that would be like a real
Yeah, it's
challenge.
truly
Yeah.
a beautiful experience. Yeah. So I don't think we
Absolutely.
can replicate the replicate the ambience, but although even the food we can perhaps, but I don't think we are ready for that yet. But we do get offers from a lot of investors who are very keen on partnering with us or who want to do a franchisee. But at the moment, we are not. Yeah, we are not up for it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Nidhi, are you getting ready for going multi-city?
No, I want to take it up as a cloud kitchen.
Ah.
It all alone. So I'm just waiting. My son's now ready to join us.
Right.
Once he should be here ready with us to start. So we want to, and we really want to call it as a health, from the health aspect of that anybody who's looking for, because I have so many cancer patients and BP patients and sugar patients, and they're deprived of eating out, or we don't have to be. We can make it very, very. Food is not a compromise when it turns healthy, and the myth which we break at Just Be, even without any of those.
Just speak to Sumit or tell him, hi Abhijit, Sumit also can't handle things there. There's a guy
Vicky?
called Abhijit.
Vicky?
Coordinate with
Vicky, can you? I'm not able to put him on mute. Okay, we'll just wait till he finishes.
We will call Sumita.
Vicky, you're done?
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
It's business.
Yeah.
It's peak business time for us.
It's peak business time, I agree.
Sorry?
No, it's
Yeah,
peak
no.
business time for you guys, right? As I said, you guys cannot like afford to put your feet up and just sit with a cup of coffee. You have to be on
Yeah,
your toes even on a
but
Sunday.
I think we all signed up for it, and yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
Yes, yes, we've made an
literally.
agreement, a very long agreement with life to actually cater to this. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Nidhi, you mentioned Cloud Kitchen, and my question probably would be to Vicky, Sean, Abhinav. Would you all consider starting Cloud Kitchen somewhere? Uh, uh, Suppose if there's a Cloud Kitchen in Goa, I mean, and there are Cloud Kitchens in Mumbai. Do you think they can be competitors, or how do you see them?
Uh,
uh, Sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So, in my business, I don't see competition because I think the more vegan businesses they are, the merrier it is
Yeah.
for everybody. Uh, so apart from that, I think yeah, cloud. We actually I was not very pro delivery on Zomato or I think what's the other platform? Swiggy is the two
Mm-hmm.
platforms, delivery platforms that we have in Goa.
Mm-hmm.
So when they contacted us, we were like not sure because we wanted people to come and experience our food in what we have to offer, in the ambience that we have to offer, and the service that we have to offer. And I was a very strong believer that all of this also impacts the overall experience of our food. But after
Yeah.
COVID, I think we one of the things that we had to do was partner with delivery apps because with so many people, we started with doing our own deliveries, but then we realized that it is just too especially in a place like Goa where addresses can be very vague because
Yeah.
there are just a lot of houses and villas. They're not apartments and there are no chai shops or panwalas like Bombay where you can go and ask addresses. That is what I used to do. And that is the best place to ask people for addresses.
Yeah, I agree.
But
Google Maps still doesn't, fit into
yeah,
every.
so after a while, we realized that we can reach a more wider audience by partnering with these people uh, uh, because people who wanted to eat healthy but they didn't know. Even it's some people are still. I mean, we have been in business for like 10, 12 years now, but some people stumble across us and are still surprised that we have been in business for 10 years because they haven't heard about us in Goa
Uh-huh.
for whatever reason. So with a platform like Swiggy, we kind of our customer base grew larger,
Mm-hmm.
and so that really worked to our benefit. So in future, we could consider doing a cloud kitchen. We did some trials last year with cloud kitchen, but and it worked out. It worked out very well, but I think we had to shut it down after the COVID scene. But we are definitely looking at a lot of different avenues to put out the vegan food out there, put out and to do health food, to create a health food scene in Goa. So
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely happening. It took probably we had to take two steps back with the other projects over the COVID situation, but we'll definitely take a big leap forward. Yeah.
Abhinav, would you start a cloud kitchen in Calcutta along with your restaurant?
So actually, if you see from last 6 months, we are acting like a cloud kitchen only.
Mm.
So we became a cloud kitchen. We
Mm.
learned how to run a cloud kitchen, and we found that maybe this is going to be one of the strongest, way of running food business in the coming days. Thanks to whatever has happened, people are speaking about going out and meeting other people. There is
Mm.
a good population out there, but they want to eat good food. But then the way of selling is different, the way of making combos, and lot things work differently on the cloud kitchen. How you make combos, how you design the food, how you put
Mm.
pictures, how you create offers daily. So it is a different strategy which we learned, and we are still learning, and I think we found it powerful. And that's when I was saying that we are planning to open one or two more takeaways. So yes, there will be like cloud kitchen and takeaways, because I think that works good. And they are also low budgeted than
Mm.
the usual businesses. So
Mm.
higher chances of break even. If you consider all other strategy at place, the
Right.
investment, the input is
Right.
lesser,
Absolutely. It's
but
much
other
less.
strategies has to be part of it. The location, yeah, location has to be part of it. And location means the range, not
Mm-hmm.
exactly where you are, but
Mm.
the range, because a 5 kilometer, 6 kilometer range is what matters to you.
Right.
So you get a very cheap location in some corner because nobody will see you.
Yes.
They'll just see you on online platform.
Mm-hmm.
But your range is good. And how you sell food and how you create food, and then technology comes like SMS. You have to be active on the messages and WhatsApp business. So these factors become more important as a cloud kitchen. But I think cloud kitchen is going to be a very strong aspect of food business.
True, true. Vicky, what about you? I mean,
A
how do you see?
cloud kitchen in Mumbai for Earth Cafe?
Not in
No, I
Mumbai, but
would,
maybe another city, you know?
no, I would doubt it.
You wouldn't venture into cloud kitchens.
No, the reason is again we are we are not a vegan cafe. We don't only cater to vegans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's how we have
Correct.
sold ourselves. So today,
Mm.
when you have to do, and I'm sure all three will agree with me, when you have to do a vegan pasta or when you have to do a vegan pizza, the delivery time, your
Mm.
taste changes a lot more than a regular commercial pizza.
Absolutely.
So I don't think so. And I would agree with Sean on a point that, we are not competition. And even if, another vegan cafe or a restaurant opens in the same city, we also have to remember one thing: demand is also increasing.
Mm.
So, we should not at all see it as a competition because, maybe the other cafe is good for something, you are good for something.
Mm.
So the demand is also increasing, population is
Mm.
increasing, thought process is changing. So there is technically no competition. I think if we all have survived in such major cities for the last
Yeah,
few months, I think there's a very bright future for all of us.
absolutely. There's no doubt about that.
And if you also look at one thing, Ruchika, in the past 1 year, I don't know about the other cities, but in Mumbai, you go to any restaurant, one page. First, there used to be
Oh,
one item. Now there is one page on every menu that is
absolutely.
dedicated to a vegan.
Yeah, they've all
Uh,
become vegan friendly.
Yes.
they all have become vegan friendly. That's a very good
Absolutely.
sign. That is a very good sign that we have been seeing.
Yeah,
And I surely don't take it as competition.
I think that's the beauty of this whole plant-based community, that they're always supporting each other.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But as people are getting more aware of this whole animal and environment abuse, uh, the whole plant-based protein demand is growing. The industry is expected to be worth some $74 billion in another 7 years. And India itself has so many startups which are working on plant-based proteins and mock meats, which is going to flood the market in the next 1 or 2 years. Do you see these changing, these kind of substitutes changing the game for you? Would you include these in your menu? And would these also give a rise to a lot more vegan restaurants?
100%. So, you're looking at 2 years. I would say the planning has started 6 months back.
Mm.
2021 year is going to be the year for protein. And I have also
But what I
seen
meant
the
was they're going to
drift.
launch their
People
products
who
in
used to use
2021.
in 2021, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
they're ready to
the big
launch.
game changer. Yeah, the big game changer that I would see is Genelia's product coming up in the market somewhere close to 21. I
So,
think
Vicky,
that
could
is
you
going to
repeat that
be a
because
big
your
game changer.
internet was a little.
Seeing that, you will have way more people. Sorry, I think the big game changer for 2021, early 2021, is going to be Genelia's product, which they are coming
Yes.
up. They are coming up very big, and I know that for a fact. Uh, and they are going to be coming up with a couple of products. They're not only going to be coming up with one product. That is going to be the game changer
Hmm.
early 2021. Seeing that mid to end 2021, you're going to have way more options than a Good Dot, than a Wesley. So they're going to see a lot more, uh, you know,
Because they're
traction
also
happening in the
making
market.
it compatible to the Indian palate. They're
Yes,
also
yes.
making it, yeah.
And I think they all have, they all have capitalized on one thing, uh, that Beyond Meat or any other mock meat from the United States cannot be imported in India for some reasons.
Mm.
Leaving that aside, so I think, capitalizing on that point and starting
Yes.
your own venture and creating a Beyond Meat or something close to a Beyond Meat in India would
Mm.
be a game changer.
Mm.
We all welcome that move. I think it's a beautiful move.
Yeah. Sean,
Coming
what
back to
about you? Sorry.
coming back to the protein powder or the protein supplement, I feel that is going to be taking to a different level again next year, because people who have been using an isopure or people
Mm-hmm.
who have been using something else have will be switching on to a plant based, which is a cleaner diet, cleaner for the stomach also. I think Nidhi would
Mm.
agree with me on this one.
Mm. Mm.
So I think that's going to be a large number, like you said.
Yeah. Sean, would you include these in your menu? Because I think you just mentioned before that, you don't want to intentionally include mock meat.
If
You're trying to stay away from that.
Yeah, if demand arises, perhaps probably we will consider it. But at the moment, I'm not so keen on
Mm.
doing mock meats because I think it is not the most healthiest substitute for
Mm.
a vegan diet, uh, and we are not in that game to kind of convince people to go plant based by mimicking animal product, so
Mm.
because we are very confident in what we in our product, and we people enjoy our food, although um, it doesn't look like an animal
Yeah.
product, or like a mock meat or
Mm.
anything of that sort.
Mm.
So, and in spite of that, people still enjoy a product. But in future, if the market really demands it, and if we have really good product in the market, we might consider it, because we believe in making everything from scratch. So
Mm.
even our burger patties and like I mentioned earlier, the tofu and the tempeh, we make all of that in house.
Mm.
So for us to just open up a packet of a plastic bag and put
Mm-hmm.
it in a pan and add some sauce to
Mm.
it is not the kind of game that we are in at the moment. No.
Yeah, yeah. And I
Yeah.
think Abhinav, in your case, y'all are also making a lot of, are y'all making the mock meat or are you, sourcing it?
No, so most of it we are sourcing it. Some of it we are making it, and but we are very pro mock meat because
Mm-hmm.
because in this city that if I want to transition them, I need to
Mm.
use mock meat as
Mm.
the
Mm-hmm.
strongest tool. In fact,
Mm.
I see that the globally, because people are health conscious, but then this one, there's one turn they have to take, which is like a
Mm.
transition journey. That okay, can I take the journey, and that may be a month or 2 or 3 months, where they want to be dependent upon something which was as good as their previous
Yes.
diet. That is
Yes.
for majority. Some are like
True.
very strong in there. It's just like smoking, like why
Yes.
e-cigarette has to come into the market. Like not everybody can leave it overnight. So mock
Yes.
meat is for me is that tool which helps me, but I don't want them to be dependent on mock meat. So I make sure when they eat it, number one, I definitely tell them that what are the good in this,
Mm-hmm.
and I also tell them that you can also get it at your home. I don't want to be make
Ah.
them dependent on coming to my restaurant and only eat it. And then slowly I had a lot of workshop from Sharan also and all other also. So if
Mm-hmm.
they first start understanding plant based, and then they can they take their own time of understanding. The environment animals comes on top, because the health is a
Mm-hmm.
personal decision. They do
Mm.
it good, they don't do it good, it's totally up to them. But if they do
Mm.
bad to environment, it also
Mm.
involves me. If they do bad to
Mm.
animals, it also involves my families who are like animals. So I definitely want to save environment and animals,
Yeah.
and health is totally up to their choice. They want to save, they will go beyond mock meat. If they don't want to, they
True.
can just eat mock meat. So
True.
we are
True.
totally up, and we want to support mock meat companies also, because these companies are dependent upon our us, because we are their
Yes.
friend
Oh,
sellers.
absolutely.
We make
Yeah.
good food out of their mock meat, and people buy them.
Yeah.
So I promote
Yeah.
Good Dot. I promote I there is a tofu aro soya. I
Yeah.
promote good milk, good milk. So as much as I can promote these brands through my food and then retail them also. So yeah.
Yes, there's a common thread of
Yeah.
that cause which ties all of us together, right? So,
True.
yeah.
Yes.
So, Nidhi, I don't think this would agree with your philosophy. So, I don't see
Being
mock meat in Just Be.
we make everything from the scratch.
Yeah,
And processed food is something which I am not into. So it would be a little challenging for me to bring that.
yeah, I can see that.
Hopefully, we get something like whole food, plant based, mock any of these things. Then maybe I can include
Yeah,
that.
I think you'll probably have to make that, and then you'll have to like invent something like that.
I know I've not got into such thing, but
Yeah,
maybe let's see.
Someone
Yeah.
made this steak out of watermelon. Will that be whole food plant-based smoke?
Oh, that's interesting. I've never heard something like that.
I've never heard that. Yeah, watermelon.
Yeah.
Watermelon.
Watery.
Yeah.
Do that into a
Yes, you just YouTube it. It's a very popular in a US restaurant.
really
Watermelon steak.
Ah,
You just Google it and see if that works, and you can also include.
lovely.
interesting.
We'll take that
Interesting.
on.
Yeah. So, I think we almost come to the end, but one piece of advice that you would want to give to these, people who want to venture into restaurants, start a full plant-based restaurant, but of course that fear is there somewhere, right? That how will it do? Will we break even? Will we make profit? Etc. Etc. You guys have been the pioneers in the country. You all have done all the hard work, taken the brand, gone through rough weathers, and now done all the groundwork and leveled it out for newcomers. And as we see in New York, there are 200 restaurants. In Europe, there are 3,000 restaurants. India is just warming up. What would your advice be to these, people who want to venture into this?
What I would say is that just start like any regular restaurant or any other business which people start with. The passion lies within you.
Mm.
Lies within you, and that is enough. But we need to look at it as just any other business and what we can provide. Like if I'm providing health and somebody's providing compassion, it's going to be a different game for everybody. But I think that's what, and our target market has to be vast. It's not only for vegans, or it's not just
No.
and the target market has to be vast. Another tip which I would say that is that database, our own database, because they are our real customers and they will bring more people. Because how many followers are there on Instagram and Facebook? We don't even know whether they are the target market who's going to come and enter into our restaurant. Right? Because they can be globally anywhere. So I think our database is something which we should collect and take care of them.
True.
In some way or the other. I think that is, and the personal touch of the restaurant. How we interact and how we spend time. And I know I've heard so much about Sean spending time with people, or Vicky talking, or I know Abhinav, how he has been. So I think that is something which we need to create our own USP. You don't see owners in a restaurant. I haven't met any restaurant. I go to any restaurant, a regular one, and I don't see owners there. But we all live there. That's our life. And that's our USP. So just think that's what I would say.
Yeah. What about you, Sean? You're like the daddy of vegan restaurant. He started like 10 years back when nobody probably even thought about it.
And I'm looking forward what he has to say.
See, when I started off, when I was doing my business plan, I didn't have any other businesses in India that I could kind of use as to check statistics or to see or to get more information from. But I think today, if somebody wants to start a business today, there's so much of information out there where people can accumulate before they start a business and make a business plan to have a USP for their vegan business, or for that matter, even to source ingredients like good quality ingredients, be it Urban Platter or be it Wesley, or if they want to use mock meats or Good Dot, or there's so many cheeses, they are already available. They don't have to kind of do R&D to make their own vegan cheeses because they can straight away. So it's I think it is so much more easier today to start a vegan restaurant. And I think one thing that was most important is confidence,
Mm.
because I think that is one thing that that didn't that really worked for my business. Is although I knew that there was not a big market to lap it up, but if you are very confident about your product, I think nothing can hold you back. And like we discussed earlier, vegan business is only we can only see it going further up as we go forward. So there will be greater demand for it, and people would want to try it, although they are not vegan or even remotely vegetarian. But once in a while people read
Yeah.
about it, or watching these documentaries today, like the Game Changers and all the other factors. People are motivated. I get people who watch Game Changers and come here and be like, oh, I watched Game Changers, then I googled which is the closest vegan restaurant, and now I
Yeah.
want to try it out to see what is this whole vegan thing everybody is talking about. So stuff like that. So there is many factors today that will contribute towards people wanting to try a vegan business. So, and I think as a vegan entrepreneur, I think confidence is a very key role to for them to have be very confident. And I think there's a vegan business WhatsApp group, and there's so many people to guide you in the right direction.
Yes.
And I think Sharon is, like, of course, one of the forefronts in this thing, where they can help you in every aspect, from curating your menu to getting an audience to, like, there's so many. So today I think it is definitely far easier, and definitely a good thing for people to do if you're considering to do it. Being a vegan entrepreneur is something a very exciting thing to do, if you want.
Yeah. Yeah. Abhinav, you're the only vegan restaurant in Calcutta. I'm sure anybody who wants to do something vegan in Calcutta are going to look up to you.
So, so there is a good news that we have 2 more cloud kitchens, vegan cloud kitchens now, starting this month. They
Oh,
started
okay.
in September and in October, which is such a good news. They are only cloud kitchens.
Mm-hmm.
And about when the thing is that shall people take it and how people should feel about it, I would say that always remind yourself the plant-based or vegan is future. This is like, this can be written anywhere in the paper and anybody can give the guarantee to it. It's a future. So if you are smart, because I really find sometimes funny that when somebody opens a new non-vegan restaurant, I think, what are you thinking now? Like,
Yeah.
are you not understanding the market? Because you're investing money. Obviously, if you're investing money, you're thinking about 5 years. But in 5 years, where do you see non-vegan food? So I really feel pity. But if somebody opens vegan restaurant, I think, oh, you have a really great vision. Or you're thinking about it. So go with that vision. Surely think about how much resources you have and start low, or whatever you have with that. I would
Yeah.
also recommend that find like-minded people. Don't think about doing everything by your own, because that can actually burn you up also.
Yes.
I'm so lucky that I have my team. We have 4 people, we have 4 friends, and who think vegan lifestyle's future, but from a different angle. Somebody is health conscious, somebody is environmental conscious, somebody is animal lover, and that brings us such a great mixture of the people. And
Mm.
everybody supports. So one goes down, other 3 are there to support, and other. So
Yeah.
so it is if you can find a great team who is like-minded in terms of veganism, but maybe it brings a different angle to it.
Perspective.
Yeah, it is good. Also be true to yourself. So if you are starting your business and you are from your heart a vegan for animals, so bring that factor in your business, because ultimately you need to be associated with the business for long. So
Hmm.
for example, I'm an environmentalist, so I brought so much of environmental factors in my business that I feel connected to it no matter what. But if I would have like for Nidhi, she's a health person, so she started the health, and hence she is like, that's perspective is her driving force. So always do it for what you believe in for veganism. Don't just say, okay,
Right.
because this is working, I'll do that, but I believe in this.
Hmm.
Because it is you and your business. And I think support system is great, as already what Sean told. I am there, like, I don't know if in this call I can summarize anything, but I'm always available you can message Ubuntu community, you can get my number and you can call me up and I can help you whatever I can. In fact, I'm also learning. I'm the maybe youngest in this panel. I'm just 1 year old in this business. I'm so much learning from them.
True.
I've learned from all of them, and I'm happy to share because I really want people to take this up and just bring veganism in the front. Let us call veganism is present, already is present, but then in the business sense it should be present so that we can see a lot of options.
Yes.
So I'm up
Yes.
for that.
And that's great. I mean, I think people should take that offer up. If they need help, they should definitely reach out to you. Vicky, in Bombay, I don't think fear can play a reason because vegan is just so well known here now, right?
Right.
So, what would you advise people?
I think it's the best time to venture out into this. And I think after Earth Cafe, we have also seen a couple of more vegan places coming.
Yeah.
You know, some all across Mumbai. I think it's a good time to get into it. The most important role that you really need to look out into opening the cafe are financials. So I think you have to really play a very important role on your financials before getting into it. Get your financials right, get your statistics right. Know what you exactly want to do. It is not just you dive into the sea and then you think, okay, I want to swim across. No, at least gauge the sea before you dive into it.
Yeah, true. That's a very valuable tip. So thank you guys so much for taking out the time and opening your hearts out and giving out all your tips, insights, experience, sharing it with the audience. I'm sure they're going to find this extremely useful. And it was so nice connecting with all of you.
Thank you,
Kudos to what you all do, yeah. Kudos to what you all do. It's like it takes just everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. We'll stay in touch.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. So
Thank
proud
you.
of you all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.